Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to Wheel Takes, a podcast that is normally about the Wheel of Time, but is also sometimes about the Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
Yeah.
I'm Allie, and I have not read all of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but I have read the entire Hunger Games trilogy.
I am Gus, and I have also not read the entire Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I've read up through chapter 20 of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and so has Allie. But I have read the whole Hunger Games trilogy. And
We're first-time readers of the
yes.
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
And this episode only contains spoilers for stuff we've already read. And again, today, that's gonna be all of the main trilogy, and then the first 20 chapters of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is a great book, which has a movie out now.
A movie we can talk about.
But we can't see, because we haven't finished the book. But we're gonna, so that's cool. Allie, we took a nice little restful vacation last week.
Because it was American Thanksgiving.
It was American Thanksgiving, and we needed to do some recharging. We have done some recharging. We're excited to be back to talk about the most depressing shit you've ever fucking read.
The most depressing shit you've ever
I'm so
read.
Into this.
And we love it.
Now I must confess, I was ravenous to read these chapters. So I just grabbed the book and devoured the chapters, and I didn't actually take any.
No, you know
notes.
what was horrible? You know what was horrible? Is that we were both devouring the books on our respective devices at the airport, sitting waiting for our flight because our flight was delayed. Oh, because somebody dropped their phone in between the floorboard, not the floorboards, but
they dropped it into the fuselage somehow. I think it went in between the seats, and they had to take a row of seats out.
Yeah.
To get their phone out.
And so the flight was delayed by...
It was only 15 minutes.
Yeah, but initially they announced
thought it was gonna be an hour.
that it was going to be an hour. And the resounding groan that spread throughout the group of people from everyone but us, because I felt so bad for whoever it was that was the subject of that announcement, having to hear all of the people groaning about the fact that they were the cause of their delay.
I mean, that would just suck.
That would
you
just
would just
suck
feel
in every way. You'd feel like such an idiot. And I was like, let's not add insults to injury here. But anyway, it ended up being all resolved in 15 minutes,
It all
which was
worked
great.
out
But
great.
Gus and I sped read. But Gus is much faster reader than I am. I'm a
That's sometimes
slow and
true.
steady type. You know, I like to really imagine the things that are happening. And Gus reads like someone's going to take the book from him. He's so fast. It's wild.
I'm enjoying it.
And he's reacting to stuff because we're both very reacty kind of people, which is why we have the podcast. He's reacting to stuff next to me, and it started to be like that TikTok sound from that Modern Family episode where Jay and Mitchell are reading the same book on the same vacation, across the pool from each other. And Mitchell keeps going oh my God, no way. And he goes, stop reacting. Now I know something exciting is going to happen.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of exciting stuff in these
I'm
ones.
on page, 46 or whatever. He's like, don't tell me that. Now I know something exciting happens on page 46. And that was what was happening. Gus was ahead of me.
Specific. I just went,
freaking out. No, but see, and then I'm all freaked out.
Well, yeah, you got to read.
See, they're all freaked out.
I mean, you're reading the Hunger Games. You know there's going to be some shit.
Could be a boring book.
I don't think that's true.
Nah. Gus, where did we leave off?
We left off with a certain somebody developing a certain illness that happens when you're bit by a certain type of creature, that creature being a mammal.
Turning into a snake. Am I right?
That's not at all what I was talking
We're
about.
not talking about Clemencia Dovecote?
No,
and her...
we're talking about Jessup's rabies.
Oh, yeah, the rabies.
Clemencia Dovecote is a different thing entirely.
There's been a lot of people bitten by
getting
shit
bit
this
by
book.
shit. There's a lot of animal imagery.
There's a lot of people
actual
bitten by
animals.
shit. And not yet the rabbit with the pit bull jaw, which, again,
That's
I have
gotta
to say,
come up. If that doesn't
pit
come
bulls
up,
don't have stronger bite force than other dogs.
I just don't understand how that could not come up.
We
really
going to send
got
Suzanne a small letter, just being by the way, I just want to let you know.
we got the whole rest of the games in this part. I was completely wrong, as is usually the case, that the book would only be the games. And once again, Allie, You are right about damn near everything. Shows me for doubting you.
I'm not going to send her a letter, by the way. I'm not going to.
Oh, no, yeah. Because...
am I? No. I'm too shy for that.
Because not only were you right about stuff happening after the games in this book, Snow's a fucking peacekeeper now.
He's a piece of shit
This
every
dude,
way. Because I had enough of this dude.
The movie came out, and we're doing our level best to avoid spoilers.
Oh my God, dodging those spoilers is like trying to dodge a wrench.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a spoiler.
Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
So, but the movie came out, and everybody sees the movie, and Tom Blythe is a handsome, handsome young man.
Good for him.
And they come out of the movie like, oh,
Can't
well,
relate.
this guy, and these people on TikTok are ranking Hunger Games characters based on smashability. And
do not put that boy on there.
Every time somebody puts Coriolanus in the top 4, I
you
go,
are incorrect.
Sit the fuck down. Is Tom Blythe very handsome? Yes.
The youths stress me out so much.
No, don't be silly.
Yeah, I'm putting my young self in that category. By the way,
sure.
I'm not being
you
rude.
Who were once Team Gale.
Well, listen.
Admittedly, so was I at the very beginning of book 1. Before he did anything heinous, except for that one time where he was like...
longer than that. I remember being so into Gale, and like a little like, Peeta's boring. And now I'm like, oh my God, girl, Peeta. It's Peeta. It's always going to be Peeta.
The bread boy.
It's Peeta. Honestly, I feel like Suzanne Collins wasn't even trying to make there be a love triangle. I feel like she was like, very clearly, I have set Gale up to be this toxic asshole.
I read an interview with her where she talked about this. She didn't introduce the two of them with the intention of it being a love triangle.
Like I said. She
introduced the two of them to kind of represent two different philosophies on just war theory.
That's what I was just saying.
But the point wasn't just Gale is a monster. He is a monster, but he's meant to represent the philosophy that,
Yes, but if you had let me finish.
I'm sorry. Well, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't done.
I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Please continue.
So I was saying he's like very clearly meant to be this like ultra, rah, the ends justify the means kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right? And was never really meant to be this like, to have anyone simping over him.
Well, no, I don't think either of them is meant to have people simping over them. They're just meant to be
the bread boy. The bread boy.
Whether or not one then does simp over him.
Gus, you simp over
I know, but I'm just saying that may not have been her intention. I think her intention was just these two boys represent the competing ideology. Okay.
Yes. Everyone simps over Peeta.
Well, as they should. He's the best. He's an unattainable ideal. You remember for the whole
no one should be simping over?
Gale?
Coriolanus Snow. Because I've had enough of this dude.
Really, remember how the whole first book was, for me, the Peeta slander hour? And then I realized my mistake.
Oh my God. You were like, Peeta's going to be the worst person in the world.
Well, I didn't trust men at the time.
Peeta and Rue.
Or generally.
You owe fruit baskets too. I'm trying to see
Fruit basket? What?
That's what I say. Whenever I'm wrong about somebody, I say I owe them a fruit basket.
Oh, I thought you said, fruit baskets too.
No, you owe them fruit baskets.
Yeah, I do. You're right. Anyway,
okay, so unlike Gus, I'm a professional and I did take
correct.
notes.
She did. I'm very proud of you.
And they are as follows.
I bet they're beautiful.
Chapter 17.
I should have taken. I was like, I'll go back read it. I'll read it again. But then I read Gideon the Ninth, and it was really, really good. It's really good. And then I read this other book, and it was okay. And then I read The Obelisk Gate, and it was really good. And then we were back, and now I'm here, and I just kind of forgot to reread the chapters. Gideon the Ninth is really good. It's really, really good.
I want to read it. I do.
It's really good.
No, I want to read it. It's just that Gus and I are discussing whether that's an Allie Reads for Fun book or not.
or an
Well,
Allie
not
reads,
that this isn't fun,
Allie
but this
reads
is a
and
different.
talks about on a microphone book.
Yeah, we've been talking about that as a possibility.
Well, I got to read the rest of the series before we determine that. But
good, you are making a wise choice as opposed to the choice that I made when I told your parents to watch Bridgerton.
oh my God, you watched 2 episodes.
Here's the thing.
It's a great show.
No,
it's not the problem.
That's not
Yeah.
the problem. I love Shonda Rhimes and all her works. But the problem was that I was not prepared for the type of show that Bridgerton was. And there's no shade at all being cast toward romance, obviously. But it's one thing to be like romance. And it's another thing to accidentally recommend romance to your in-laws without knowing that was what you recommended.
There's an episode of that show. It's got like 30 minutes of fucking in it.
What's amazing is, okay, so here's what happened.
It's not gratuitous. I mean, it's totally earned and it's totally justified and it's really, it's lovely.
I
didn't
need
mean
to
gratuitous.
stop recommending, and I keep doing this. I need to stop recommending things to people without reading the entire thing or watching the entire thing, or at least putting in a disclaimer that I haven't. Now I've learned to at least put in a disclaimer if I'm enjoying something with going, I haven't consumed the entire thing. So if suddenly things go off the rails when you read it or watch it, because people tend to, so this is what happened. Okay. So I was watching Bridgerton, the first couple episodes, and it seemed there was some like sexual content, right, with one of the brothers, but nothing like out of control, right? Where I was like, oh my God, I can't possibly recommend this show to my in-laws. And at first, and I like watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, it's like a cute Jane Austen-y, like tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, you didn't know
Julie
the franchise
Andrews
yet.
is the narrator. Like, oh, what an adorable little show. And it is an adorable little show. And I will stand by the fact that it's an adorable little show, except though now I'm vaguely recalling that maybe there was something problematic about it. I don't know. I'm not down with all the gossip. I don't know. But I enjoyed the first couple episodes and I am, and I enjoy Shonda Rhimes and I was like, oh my gosh. So I messaged Gus's parents as I do constantly because I'm obsessed with them. And I said, you all should watch this show. I think you're really going to like it. It's this cute, funny little show. Very tongue-in-cheek, Who is Lady Whistledown, all that cute stuff. And they got past me on the show really fast. When they watch a show, they watch the show. Like they will watch it quickly. And I'm someone who, is watching 75 shows at once because I'm trying to keep up with what the new hot show is, so that I can talk about it in meetings. And they messaged me and they're like, so episode 7, I'm on episode 4 at this point. They go, episode 7 was quite an episode. And I go, what do you immediately start panicking? I go, what do you mean? What do you mean? What, like Jennifer Lawrence in that Hot Wings thing?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? And they go, well,
There's that. Have you finished it?
Have you finished it? And I go, no. Why? And my mother-in-law goes, well, let's just say I can't think of a sex act they didn't do in that episode.
Now she was being a little hyperbolic.
But yeah. No. She actually goes, I mean, there are a couple notable ones they missed or something like that.
That is true for plot reasons, actually.
And so then I didn't finish the season for like 7 months because I was so afraid of what I would see and realized that I had exposed my in-laws to. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just going to not do it.
Allie, was this how you...
Is this went bad? What do you mean? What do you mean by shaking out? What are you doing? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, it was with that level of panic too. It was that level of panic. Like, what do you mean? 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 And then, so I didn't watch it for 7 months because I was too afraid to know what I
remember
had,
that.
what
it
I
was
had
a
done.
long time that we couldn't finish that show.
Yeah. And then finally, I decided to get rather inebriated. Please drink responsibly and all the rest. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's know what happens. I gotta know. And we watched the episode, and it's a lot of fucking.
It's a lot of fucking.
It's a lot of fucking in that episode. It's just like straight fucking for a while.
It's so
like
much
they just
fucking.
never stop fucking. It feels like
spoilers, I guess.
At least when you're watching it, they don't know who.
Yeah,
But
there's
they
fucking
never
in the romance show.
Stop fucking, and listen, I have no problem with it, none. And if this had just been like independently me watching this, it probably wouldn't have felt like that much. It probably wouldn't have even like really been that much of a blip on the radar. But I certainly would not have then gone, hey, in-laws, please
Check this shit out.
check this. You know, it just wouldn't have been on my list of wrecks. You know, I just feel like that's more of a wreck to your girlfriends, not a wreck to your in-laws kind of deal. I was screaming the entire screaming. I was like, oh my God, are they still going?
It's pretty nonstop.
And my friend later watched it after hearing this story because she was like, now I have to watch it. And she messaged me and she's like, it really wasn't that bad. You're really making a mountain out of a molehill. I was like, okay. But I want you to imagine with your imagining brain that you had recommended that though, with all that was to your in-laws.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, they enjoyed the show.
I think about this is my Roman Empire.
They just weren't
think
sure
about
why you
this
had recommended
every
it to them.
day. I think
They thought it was a great show.
it's a great show.
Yeah.
I like Shonda and all her works.
No, it's a great show. They were just like, interesting recommendation from our
was
daughter-in-law.
An interesting recommendation for me. And is a funny story that they bring up a lot.
They think it's so fucking funny.
Because I was screaming. I was like, I can't believe I did that. So now, and then you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny is I did not learn from that. I didn't because I did something similar to like an employer of mine with a show where I was like, oh, and then the show, I can't even remember which one. And he gave me a hard time about it too. So I was like, I just need to learn to watch a show to the end.
Well, didn't you also then recommend ACOTAR to my mom?
Oh yeah, not knowing.
Yeah.
Not knowing. It's just I just prefer that my older relatives not think about me in any context relating to that. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny because on the
girlfriends, I will tell them, I will give them all the recs, but
with respect to recommending something and not understanding what it is, and then having confusion happen after the other person consumed it. Whenever I recommend, which I am doing now, not to the listeners necessarily, because I haven't finished the series, but whenever I recommend Gideon the Ninth to people, to which I recommended to several people, at least the first book over the Thanksgiving break, I give them the elevator pitch, and then they look at me funny because it sounds like I'm describing some sort of like fantasy nerd wet dream man smut thing, which it's not. Because the elevator pitch is lesbian necromancers explore a haunted palace in space.
Honestly, I'm like, say less. What do you
and
mean?
I love that. But if you go to people outside of the fantasy world and you say lesbian blank blank blank, they stop listening after lesbian and they assume you're just talking about lesbian porn.
Oh, that you're just a pervert?
Yeah, that you're just a pervert. Who, and, you know, I'm not saying something wrong with lesbian porn. I'm just saying that if you go up to your family and you describe something beginning with lesbian necromancers do X, they assume the word dildo is going to be involved. And then they look at you funny. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, I'm not going to spoil the Locked Tomb series, but that's not really the vibe at all. Because then I would usually follow that up with, and it made me cry. And then they get even more confused.
Now you're just a weepy pervert.
Yeah, because this book's really goddamn good. Anyway.
So here's the thing. Inevitably, in our Discord, there's just going to be somebody that comes in and goes, I heard your Bridgerton story, and my mother-in-law trades spicy books all the time. Good for you. I'm happy for you and your healthy relationship. Yeah, all of it. I'm happy for you. I grew up with a lot of shame. So that's where I'm at. Okay.
So with that having been said, let's
Chapter
actually
17, guys.
pop
Let's
a
hear my notes.
real quick ad break, and then we'll do your notes. welcome back
Anyway,
for the first of what should be 4 chapters.
I don't think I've told that story on the podcast before.
I actually don't think you have, but they'll know.
That's a great story. Okay. Suzanne really said, I did my research, Gus.
She did.
Oh, so Gus said something along the lines of, and I don't think he actually said this on
No, I said it while I was reading.
mic, as it were. But yeah, he said, it seemed a little fast for rabies to hit. And then immediately,
Like the first page.
yeah, it goes, this isn't too fast for rabies. Like, there's just this like line that explains how the rabies would have spread so fast. And I was just like, let Suzanne work, Gus. Okay, her sitting with Jessup.
She said to me,
Oh, you stupid boy. Okay, her sitting with Jessup as he died had me stressed.
everything about this book has me stressed. Every goddamn
Can you
thing.
get rabies from a human bite?
Yeah,
I
think
thought so. Right? So I
Yeah.
was like, girl, I understand that you want, you know, the people sitting and doing the Katniss being with them as they die. I totally, 100%. I wasn't sure about the tuberculosis of it all. And I
Well,
wasn't sure about the rabies of it all.
I don't think it spreads through the air. I think it spreads through bites.
I was talking about tuberculosis, which
tuberculosis.
definitely
That was
spreads
that was
through
that
the
was a
air.
concern.
But the rabies, he was still kind of trying to go after her. And
Yeah,
she's
but at that
sitting
point
there
he
as
had
he's
like
dead.
broken every of his bone. Every of his bone?
Every of his bone.
He have broken every of
He
his
have
bone.
broken every of his bone. You're right, Gus. Well, in that case, if he have broken every of his bone, then maybe. But it still stressed me out. I was like, what if he gets some kind of second wind?
He did not. He die.
He died.
He die.
There's this. Okay.
We don't have time. We'll circle back to it later. It's a very niche TikTok joke.
Very niche.
It's funny to
TikTok
us, and
joke.
now we've made
He
it
died.
awkward.
What if somebody gets it? Because it's very niche.
Well, if you they won't, but if they do, amazing.
It will take me 2 seconds to explain, and now we've hyped it up. So, okay, here's the thing. I really like the Sims.
Yes.
This is just a thing about me. I like to make them succeed, but then also I make it like a telenovela. So it's like both.
You installed Wicked Whims the second you got that program.
Yeah, but then I felt it was a no
nothing
for
wrong
me.
with that either.
It was a no for me, dog. I tried it because everyone was talking about it.
Wait, you got rid of it? I thought you still played with it on.
Oh no.
Well, you never told me that.
No, it was
Too much for your
It was
precious Catholic school heart.
Far too much. I learned that I am a fade to black girly. I am a fade to black girly, you know. I learned that. Well, unless it's a book, and in that case, I'm
Can't see it.
good with that.
Yeah.
I struggle with.
This is again ties back into Bridgerton.
I'm a fade to black
Yeah.
girly. I'm a fade to black girly, and that's okay. You know what? We have all types, and that's what makes the world go round. But anyway, so I discovered this TikToker. This is completely unrelated to the Wicked Whims, which thank you so much for calling me out about that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
But I like to make them
you want me to
succeed.
cut that?
No, but I discovered this very niche woman on TikTok who is doing a challenge on The Sims where it's like a medieval challenge where each life stage she has to roll a die to see
If they're going to survive.
They survive based on like real statistics, I think.
Yes.
Right? They survive each life stage. And then sometimes they introduce things like a real in that time period war that was happening that they'd have to go fight. And then all the like males over a certain age have to go and they have to roll to see if they survive. And it's like a plague outbreak.
You're
and
going
they
to have to link
roll
this
to see
for me so I can put it in the description.
Probably. But so whoever it is, the woman does not narrate what's happening. She clearly has like a robot voice narrating what's happening that's not her own.
Right.
And I also think that English is not her first language, or she does not care that much about grammar, which is also valid and fine. But so I like binged these in a day, right? I was just watching dice roll after dice roll, just so invested because the most dramatic shit would happen in this game. And because of dice rolls, and it was so fun. And then, but every time something would happen, it would be like, she live, he die, she die, he live. and all the comments are always like, she live. It's become
great.
like a thing.
So
now
Jessup, he die.
he die.
But Lucy Gray,
She live.
She live.
Anyway, very exciting stuff. Oh, like a dog or something. A really good one. Direct quote. I'm about to Sparta kick this guy.
Yeah, the animal stuff is extreme.
I want to. I'm not a violent person, but I'm like, how can you talk like this about people? I just don't understand.
That's pretty bad.
I just don't understand. It's like, well, if you look at it from their perspective at all, use your empathy at all. Oh my God. God. Okay. I stan Lysistrata, which means she's fucked.
Yeah, well.
Because she seems like the only one that actually has a conscience that isn't Sejanus
Yeah, well, yeah.
so far. Oh my God. Now she's going to suck.
Yeah,
Watch.
well, yeah.
It's like Bridgerton all over again.
Yeah,
I just
well,
recommended Lysistrata without really knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Lucky really sucks at his job. Like, holy hell.
Okay, but
No.
does he?
Yes.
Because his job is to make it palatable.
His job is to remember the names of at least the mentors.
But here's the thing. I would have agreed with you. And then
I'm not saying Caesar Flickerman's better, but he at least remembers their names
I'm
before
trying
they
not to let
die.
any movie stuff influence me, but
Oh, what'd you see?
I didn't see anything.
What'd you see?
I didn't see anything outside of what we've
Gus,
already read.
have you been trolling for spoilers?
No, don't. No. If they're gonna start yelling at me because like I went on the internet after just like the before I've had the chance to scroll away the snippets of Lucky I've seen, it sounds like what he does in both the film and in the book is he provides such like a fucked up counterbalance to the grimness and horror of the situation that it makes it more palatable for the audience.
Okay.
So insofar as what his actual job is in the scope of like what Dr. Gall probably asked him to do, he's kind of perfect for it. But yeah, he's a shit host.
Okay, but yeah, from an entertainment perspective.
Oh, he's garbage.
Like an entertainment professional perspective.
Garbage.
Oh my God, do your job, dude.
Garbage. But I do think it's important to note that he's probably enormously effective insofar as what his intended purpose is.
Fine. I love the little detail of Tigress reading clothes. It's so cool what people with particular skills notice about things, you know? I love people with skills. Tigress Holmes over here, she's like, she has got a tan line on her finger, which means that she was married, probably widowed. You know, like, I mean...
Do you do that thing now where every time you miss your phone charger, you think that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to materialize and call you an alcoholic?
What?
Is this just me?
Wait, I'm confused.
You watch Sherlock?
Did he call someone an alcoholic because they forgot their phone charger?
There's the first episode of Sherlock. He looks at this guy's phone and he sees scratch marks around the charging port. And he's like, nobody has scratch marks around the charging port unless their hand is shaking when they plug it in. And that means that he's got delirium tremens, which means he's an alcoholic or like in withdrawal from something. But nobody actually fucking hits the charging port on the first try, ever. So now every time I plug my phone in, I'm like, oh my God, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to manifest in my house.
Those are those asshole-ish assumptions that people make. Where I'm like, well, what if I just have shaky hands, bro?
What if I drank a lot of coffee?
I have really shaky hands.
I drink 1 cup of coffee, I start twitching like a... I don't drink much coffee, but now I have to drink like half calf for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm slightly older than I was before, but I don't know, man. Anyway, we're 30 minutes in. We haven't started the chapter.
Wait. Can I share one small thing?
Please, yes.
So I was reading a like mystery written by, I'm going to try to be very vague. I'm not going to mention who this person is. It's just one moment that bothered me in a book because it was written by someone. The author purposefully sounds like they are a woman. But this moment made me look up whether or not they are, and they are a man that has a purposefully female-sounding pen name.
Oh, one of those.
Because he markets his books towards women, which, whatever. Feel how you're going to feel about that. But
I'm going to bleep the name. Is it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's what happened. I was reading this book, and this is what made me go, this was written by a man. Like, I just immediately knew. It's one of those moments where you're just like, I know that this is written by a man. Because, so the main character, and now, this is going to get obvious now, but anyway, this just made me
You enjoyed the book.
I enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
It's just, it was very obvious in this moment that this was written by a man, because this woman saves this woman from drowning, pulls her from this lake, right, into her boat, her little rowboat or whatever. And then looks down at this woman's hand, who is supposedly married, and goes, well, that's weird. She's not wearing her wedding ring. Something must be off. And I'm like, she's swimming in a lake. Of course she's not wearing her wedding ring, because what if it slips off and gets lost? That's like the most expensive piece of jewelry you probably have. And then it's gone forever, because you're not going to get it out of a lake. And so then I went, why would, and the main character was supposed to be a woman. And I was like, well, why would a woman would know that about another woman and wouldn't think that was weird. So I was like, so there's no way that this person that wrote this is a woman. Cause like, who is she trying to show that she's off the market for? The fucking fish?
Well, and especially because like, I'm going to be very, very, this is enormous generalization. But using our wedding rings as comparison, mine is a band of metal. Yours has a jewel in it.
Yeah.
So, I do not always take my ring off if I'm going swimming, because that's probably going to be fine. I mean, if it were chlorine, yeah, I should probably. But like, nothing is going to possibly fall out of the ring, because it's just a ring and it's tight enough on my finger that it's not going to slip off. Yeah, it's quite large. It's
huge. You would spot that from the fucking space station.
But I would understand if you had like, I would understand if you had jewels set in a ring.
If it's the most valuable thing you own, probably for most people.
For many, well, not everybody. It doesn't have to be. You don't even have to have a ring.
For a lot of people,
yeah.
It's the most valuable thing you own. Of course, you're going to take it off. Well, okay, in this particular woman's case, she was like a very wealthy woman.
Oh, then she's going to take
the
shit
off. So it's
off.
definitely super valuable.
Also, it's like, I take my ring off when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I take my ring off a lot.
Mine off when I go in the shower.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a walking inevitability.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to take my fucking ring off every time I'm doing something like overly dramatic and whatever. Of course I am. So yeah, that made me instantly go, oh, a man wrote this. And then I looked it up and I was like,
the book, right?
I was right.
Yeah, it was a fun book.
Oh, yeah, it was a fun book. That was one moment where I went, oh, there's
Man
no
wrote
fucking
this,
way.
yeah.
Not only did a man write this, no woman ever had read this before it came out. My baby cousin wouldn't hurt a fly. Oh, sweet tigress. The dramatic irony is killing me.
You're starting to see why they don't like each other later in life.
Oh my God. And I am on Tigress's side every step of the way. Also, I believe the person who plays Tigress is Hunter Schafer.
Yes.
I believe that's her name. Apparently she is just unbelievable in it.
That's what I'm very excited to see this movie.
Apparently.
When we can see this movie. We may not be able to
That's
see it
all
in
I've
theaters
heard
depending on how
is
long
that Hunter Schafer is unbelievable as Tigress.
Yeah.
Also, it's not true. Coriolanus hurts me every chapter.
It's his best ability.
Oh, the snows are melting.
F. All right, Al. It is an odd. It's an odd chapter. Take it away.
Okay. He's rabid, Lysistrata says softly. Sorry. I made it. Present. Whatever.
Present, yeah.
I'm tired. Rabies had made a comeback in the capital during the war, with doctors needed in the field, and facilities and supply lines compromised by the bombings. Medical treatment had become sketchy for the humans. For humans. Whatever. Anyway.
Humans.
Like Coriolanus' mother, and almost non-existent for the pampered capital pets. Vaccinating your cat wasn't on the list of priorities. It would be for me. When you couldn't scrape enough money for bread, it would be for me. Just me. It's not a judgment. I get it. But I'm like, the way I would go to jail for those animals. Anyway, how it began remained a matter of debate. An infected coyote from the mountains, a nocturnal encounter with a bat, but the dogs spread it. Most of them were starving, abandoned casualties of the war themselves, from dog to dog, then to people. The virulent strain developed with unprecedented speed, killing over a dozen capital citizens before a vaccination program brought it under control. He thought of Jessup with his handkerchief pressed against his neck. The rat bite? Not a rat, said Lysistrata, shock and sadness on her face. Rats almost never spread rabies. Probably one of those mangy raccoons. I didn't know that rats almost never spread rabies. So, Suzanne, you can get that right, but not the pit bull jaw thing? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know about I don't know much about rabies, clearly. I don't know shit.
Suzanne's a rat truther. She's out here going, all right, we'll give you the bubonic plague, but how dare you come for my rats?
Huh. Small rodents like squirrels, hamsters, guinea pigs, gerbils, chipmunks, rats, and mice, and lagomorphs, including rabbits and hares, are almost never found to be infected with rabies.
Today I learned.
And have not been known to transmit rabies to humans. Raccoons, skunks, and foxes are the terrestrial animals most often infected with rabies.
Huh.
All bites by such wildlife must be considered a possible exposure to the rabies virus.
Ugh.
Anyway.
So Jessup probably got bit by a raccoon, maybe.
Yeah, they posit that. Because then later, Lysistrata's talking to cameraman, fuckface boy, and she's like, yeah, but it was a raccoon. He's like, oh my God, there were raccoons on my shit. Oh my God. And she's like, you're not fucking rabid, bro.
Well, you can't get rabid rabies from contact, right?
No, you can get it from their saliva, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just bites.
Primarily, yeah. Or if you, like, eat their brain.
Well, yeah. Well, you shouldn't eat brains in
Ever.
general.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's all kinds of bad shit that can happen from that.
Yeah, saliva. Anyway.
So Jessup starts chasing after Lucy, which is so stressful. Poor Jessup. And he's running after her.
Because that's kind of what you do, I guess.
They created a strange tableau. Rabid boy, trapped girl, bombed out building. It suggested a tale that could only end in tragedy. Star-crossed lovers meeting their fate. Katniss and Peeta.
Huh.
A revenge story turned in on itself. A war saga that took no prisoners. Oh, all of those sound familiar.
A little bit. Kind of a lot of foreshadowing in this shit.
And he's trying to think, like, what kills you when you have rabies?
I don't actually know.
Like, what ultimately kills you?
I think it's dehydration.
Yeah?
Usually.
Well,
I think. Because you can't drink water.
Want water, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that once you have it and you start to show symptoms, you're done. There's nothing they can do. Which is why you should get vaccinated for rabies the second you think you might have a bite.
Destroying neurons or causing brain inflammation. No, wait a minute.
Yikes.
It does not. It causes, what is this word? Excitotoxicity, which overstimulates the brain and causes the cells to die.
No.
Yikes.
So then a drone comes in with water. Jessup swings at it and makes the water explode. Oh, and so then Coriolanus realizes that they don't want to be near water. So then he's about to start ordering bottles of water to basically like frighten Jessup away. But Lysistrata stops him and is like, let me do it.
She really comes in clutch here. She does some good shit.
Yeah. I mean, he does. She does. And she basically says, if Jessup can't win, I want Lucy to.
Mm-hmm. Lucy Gray, yeah.
Yeah, I want Lucy Gray to win. So she sends in Jessup's water bottles, essentially.
And kind of like bombs him with water.
Yeah, kind of dive bombs him with water. And she cries a little.
Yeah, it's sad.
But he keeps kind of closing in on Lucy. And then all of a sudden, Lysistrata's water bottle brigade comes in. And Lucy stops kind of running because she kind of realizes what's going to happen.
Because she's smart.
As the drones closed in on him, he pawed at them but failed to connect. When they started releasing the bottles of water, he lost all control. Explosive devices could not have elicited a stronger response. And the impact of the bottles smacking into the seats whipped him into a frenzy. The contents of one splattered his hand, and he recoiled as if it were acid. He gained the aisle and bounded down toward the field, But another dozen drones arrived and bombarded him. Since they were directed to deliver right to the tribute, there was no escaping them. As he flew down toward the front row seats, his foot caught and he tripped forward, hurtling over the arena wall and onto the field. The sound of snapping bones that accompanied his landing surprised the audience, as Jessup had landed in a rare pocket of the arena with good audio. He lay on his back, motionless except for the heaving in his chest. The remaining bottles rained down on him while his lips curled back and his eyes stared unblinkingly at the bright sun glinting off the water.
It's
and
very
Lysistrata
sad.
whispers to herself not to let him die alone.
Yeah. Well, she's like, come on, Lucy Gray. And lo and behold.
And Lysistrata, because Lucy stays, sends Lucy food. And Lucy basically comforts Jessup to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Haven't seen that anywhere before in this franchise.
Oh, fuck.
Never, not once, not twice.
She goes to him and lays a hand on his head. That's what made me nervous.
Yeah. Well, touching him. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was going to bite her. But obviously, also, she has the protagonist shield, so I assumed he wasn't going to bite her there. But I was just like, And she cleans his face with a napkin that Coriolanus had brought her.
But it's not the handkerchief, right? The nice one? No, wait, it is. Yeah, it's the compact that he wants back. The poison compact. He doesn't give a shit about the rest
napkin
of it.
that the food that Coriolanus smuggled her was wrapped in.
Of course.
But it's Chekhov's napkin, am I right?
Lo and behold.
So then Lysistrata sends her a bunch of food. And then Reaper shows up, which, again, I was like, ew.
This dude, wow.
I thought he was going to go on a killer rampage, and instead...
He sure didn't.
He just kind of lost it.
No, my God, it was beautiful.
But, not in a way that... he just kind of reminded me of what PETA said about, not letting them beat him.
He was
change him.
He was the Reaper. I mean, every time somebody died, he laid them in state. I mean, that was fuck. As he started doing this, and I went, oh, this dude is going to be the last one to die, and he's going to try to cover himself on the way out. And he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is some poetic imagery.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, I don't care. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna treat my fellow comrades with dignity.
Then why? I guess the one thing was, I was like, then why did he say all that about them? About him apologizing for killing them.
I think he expected that he would be the one who ended up doing it because he was the top pick to win, and he probably didn't want to, and he probably also wanted to scare everyone away from him.
Oh yeah,
and
that's probably the bigger reason, is he just didn't want anyone to attack him until he was done doing what he needed to do.
Well, it could also be I'm sorry, I'm going to have to kill all of you, as in I don't mean to ascribe all of this literary wisdom of the genre and wisdom of the fact that he's in a book to Reaper, but it could be I'm going to be the last one to take care of any of you in any way.
Right. I mean, it's super noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of PETA.
I see it.
PETA if Katniss weren't in the games.
Yeah.
I mean, Lucy also reminds me of PETA. It's kind of like a mix.
It's Lucy Gray. Rachel Ziegler went on Twitter and said, it's Lucy Gray.
I'm sorry, Lucy
If Rachel Ziegler
You're
wants
right.
you to say it, you gotta say it.
You're right. It's Lucy Gray. You're right. And then, of course, Lepidus goes to Lysistrata and is like, did you know about the rabies?
My cameras. Shut up, Lepidus.
And she
You're
goes,
such a twit.
No, because I would have alerted people so they could test the raccoons at the
Jackass.
zoo.
You fuck
And then
boy.
he's like, what? He didn't bring it from the district?
Oh, I'm the worst.
The districts are the ones with the rabies. I suck. And she says, no, he was bitten here at the Capitol.
You dick shit.
At the zoo? A lot of us have been spending time at the zoo. A raccoon was over by my equipment, scratching around with those weird little hands. And Lysistrata just goes, you don't have rabies. And he makes this little clawing motion. And he's like, it was touching my things with this little claw.
What a buffoon.
Though at the same time, I would totally freak out like this though if somebody got rabies. And,
oh no, yeah, I'd be quite concerned.
And I was in the area at all.
Quite very.
And they ask her if she has any thoughts, and she says, I do. What I'd like the people to know about Jessup is that he was a good person. He threw his body over mine to protect me when the bombs started going off in the arena. It wasn't even conscious. He did it reflexively. That's who he was at heart. a protector. I don't think he would have ever won the games because he'd have died trying to protect Lucy Gray. Oh, like a dog or something. I just want to punch
Is this
man
Festus?
in the face.
No, it's
Lepidus.
Lepidus. Shut up.
A really good one. No, not like a dog. Like a human being. Though Petey is a human being.
A very small canine one, perhaps.
He's a human being. Yeah, so she leaves. And Lucky does a rundown. And they decide to do photos of the pairings side by side. So we get kind of like an early look at what that becomes. Also, I think that's partially just because he's so inept he can't memorize 27 names.
Clown.
Listen, I also can't memorize 27 names. I have issues with that too. If you have issues with that, that's not on you. But that's not your literal job.
Clown.
Your literal only job. So, yeah. He goes through all the people that are still left.
We're down to a few.
And Coriolanus crosses people out again, which just, And Coriolanus goes home, where Tiger says that cute thing where she's like, I know
right?
what's happened to you.
Yeah, because she susses it out with
sussing it out from your
all
clothes.
the rips and stuff.
Which was really cool. And we end with a classic Suzanne Collins ending of a chap. Tigers reluctantly reached into her coat pocket, pulled out a letter marked with the capital stamp, and handed it to him. The tax bill came today. She didn't have to elaborate. Her expression told him everything. With no money for the taxes and no way to borrow more, the Snows were about to lose their home.
Oh. Sure. Well, I didn't mean to go. But, you know, Coriolanus losing his house is fine. What I meant to do was this.
The capital government really said.
Because I've had enough of this.
We promise to use the soundboard responsibly. We promise to use the soundboard responsibly.
No, we
promise
don't.
to use the soundboard responsibly.
It's a soundboard with light up buttons.
Chapter 18, Allie. Can you share your notes? Because I'm a fucking schmuck.
I'm a professional. In seriousness, this is really sad and upsetting and all. But at the same time, there's a part of me channeling Kourtney Kardashian. Kim, there's people that are dying.
Yeah, like it does suck, and I feel for Tigress, but also...
Choked down his nut butter is some phrasing.
Oh, boy.
Complaining about a tribute's decision to hide is a choice. LOL, Anus just did, Sam, these are not real problems, too hilarious. It was something to think about, how much they rewarded character in the Hunger Games victor. Lucy and Katniss comparisons are stacking. Also, we know they do kill victors who go too far with their brutality. I saw this great analysis by Lucky Lefty the other day on TikTok, who was doing incredible analyses of the Hunger Games. And she said the reason they killed the cannibal guy and rewarded Enobaria for ripping another tribute's throat out with her teeth is that Enobaria's brutality they could sell as, look how fucked up and animalistic the districts are, which plays into their propaganda. Cannibalism, on the other hand, hits too close to home when it comes to what they had to do to survive the war, so they eliminated the reminder that, put in similar dire circumstances, they really aren't superior morally to the districts at all.
That's a good point. I'd forgotten about the...
When you're done, you need to binge Lucky Lefty's videos.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, why are you watching them?
I'm not watching the ones that have to do with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm watching the ones about the Hunger Games.
Okay. Now you're going to... Well, you actually very much know what it's like for people to be worried you're going to see spoilers.
I watched the old ones.
Yeah, it's fair. All right.
The ones before tBoSaS.
Tub of Sass.
That was behavior you might expect of a capital girl, but one from the districts, my brother in Christ. You saw someone in the capital literally eating a woman, and so and do we really believe that she just happened to drop dead on the street of hunger, by the way?
Well, it could.
In the street? When she worked for them, so presumably was employed and making a little money? Or was the family she was working for desperate to look like they were getting by well, like the Snows, and kept her on, but they were running out of food and money and found a way to solve both problems by murdering their maid in an alleyway and making it look like she was randomly attacked? Just saying. What feels more likely to you?
Why would you murder her in an alleyway? Why wouldn't
To make it look like she was randomly attacked.
But then you have to saw her leg off in public. This is
well,
dark.
he sawed her leg off in public anyway.
That's what I'm. You know what? You're usually right, so I'm just gonna.
My
go with
theory is he killed her in the alleyway to eat her.
Didn't Snow see her drop dead?
No, he saw him chopping her leg off. He didn't see her drop dead.
Oh, okay.
I think that she was not. I think they made some assumptions there.
All right.
Because she was working for them. So what do you think is likely? That he happened to stumble upon her body and thought...
What? We sure he was working for them?
Yeah, he said that she was working for their family.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Well, I also feel like they would,
I like my theory.
You're usually right.
I think Coriolanus was a child and did not put that two and two together.
Very
But
possible.
I, as a 30-something-year-old woman, am like, did he murder her and then to eat her? Because that feels like more likely than, oh, I just stumbled upon the body of my maid in the alleyway. Oh, well, luckily I brought along my handy-dandy hacksaw with me.
Bummer.
You know, this maid, she costs an arm and a leg. What do you make of all this stuff? I'm going to need to see some competence from you as a host. This is a question the host of the Hunger Games.
Oh my God, he's so
asked
fucking
somebody.
stupid.
He's so bad at his
so
job. It's unbelievable. I'm like,
stupid.
at least have the decency to be good at this. He goes, what do you make of all this stuff?
Or grandson, so much more
competent. It's actually wild. Like the Nepo baby is more competent.
Truly.
The
so much
self-made
more
man.
competent.
I'm going to need to see.
Especially when it's Stanley Tucci.
I mean, who doesn't love Stanley Tucci? I'm going to need to see some competence from you as a host because seriously, did all of the competent hosts die during the war and all you had was this YouTube streamer with
weatherman.
3 followers? Good God.
He's a weatherman.
Damn, rip
Weatherman.
Lamina. I thought her position on the poll would be too obvious for everyone. Sucks to be right.
She did.
Wow, rip Tanner
She
too.
die. He die.
He die. They no longer needed him, and he didn't see that when you're in a tight alliance of 3, the tighter pair will pick you off once they don't need you anymore.
Survivor shit comes
Survivor
into
shit
the fold
continues
again.
to be relevant. I am starting to believe that Suzanne Collins is a Survivor fan.
She was. We know that.
Like an actual fan? I thought she just was like, this just showcases that we're devolving in this way.
She was watching Micronesia when she came up with the idea for the first book.
That makes so much sense knowing Micronesia.
Yes, great season.
I wonder who she was rooting for. I wonder if they're 1-to-1s. No.
No.
That would be fun. Yeah, they definitely shift to the mentors being previous winners because the capital kids get too close to their tributes. Yeah.
But the mentors being previous would get closer. Oh, yeah. Because,
but they don't want
they
capital
don't want
kids
capital
getting
kids
close to their...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. People brought Avoxes along to hold signs. Holy shit.
Appalling.
That's so gross. That's so gross. I do not buy that Gaius died of natural causes.
But he was bombed. It was a bomb. It's not all conspiracies.
Have you met the capital?
Listen, I'll give you that.
Is this your first day?
I'll give you that Gaul, the more I think about it, probably may well have been behind the bombing or High Bottom. Somebody. I'll give that to you because the more I think about it, the more realistic that seems, and you're always right. But why?
I'm sorry,
what? You're always right. But why would they? Why would if
he's more valuable dead than alive?
Yeah,
to them.
but
he is more valuable dead than alive.
Why would
and it's very easy to kill this kid and make it look like he succumbed to his injuries.
He probably bombed. He died to bomb.
He didn't die during the bomb, and they have a lot of medical abilities. I think he's more valuable as a martyr than he is as a living child.
It could be.
Because it will just what is their goal, Gus, right now? What is their clear and explicitly stated goal? Division. How are they hoping to accomplish that division, Gus?
Divide.
How would they divide?
Anger.
Yes.
Resentment.
What would cause
I know what you're getting
anger,
at. Yes. They falsified that he died so that he... they can blame the districts more.
And so that they can make the idea of watching a bunch of district children die much more palatable.
Sure.
Because they're killing our kids, so why can't we kill their kids?
Yes, but okay. So now you're
we've
proposing
seen that
they staged a bombing to kill some kids, and then when that didn't kill enough kids, they staged the death of another kid because the bomb wasn't enough to kill him.
Okay. They also didn't have a problem with sending Coriolanus into the arena, kind of hoping that the district kids would kill them. They actively were not.
But that was an organic thing. I'm just saying it's very possible.
This is also an organic
No, you're
thing.
not. You're describing an artificial scenario because you're saying that he was hit by a bomb and then he didn't die fast enough so that they just put him in the chair.
No, I'm saying they kind of let him die.
Oh, that's not at all clear. I thought you were saying he didn't.
No, I'm saying they did not actively try that hard to save him.
I thought
Just
you were
they
saying
actively...
like he was making a bold recovery and then they snuck in and garroted him in the night.
No, it's just like they actively did not try that hard to save Coriolanus and Sejanus when they were coming back from
Very possible.
the arena. I think they purposefully let Gaius die.
Sure. Okay.
I'm not saying they hit him with the 1-2.
That's what
I'm
I thought
saying
you were
they
saying.
did not.
I thought you were saying like he was on the way out the hospital and then they tripped him into a bed of nails
No,
or something.
I'm saying, oh, what a shame. It appears that he succumbed to his wounds.
Very possible. Listen, Gaul is the goddamn worst.
Yeah, she doesn't have a problem recreationally putting her students in danger. I have a hard time imagining that she doesn't see this as an opportunity for further anti-district propaganda.
Very possible.
Yeah, she's the literal fucking worst. She's a literal snake. Coriolanus continues to not visit his classmates in the hospital. The first thing he thinks when Gaius is announced dead is,
man, I
shoot, I should have gone to say.
He's got a lot on his mind, namely being the fucking worst.
That's just so dumb. I'm really worried for Reaper over this flag. Correct, Allie. I'm also worried about the fact that Clemmy is being so ruthless. She's not right, that's for sure. But also, Haymitch does this to Katniss with holding water because she was close to it. But I was right on the money with Clemencia. But Clemmy might also be right to hold on to resources. She wasn't. Especially since Reaper isn't going to be too popular with the flag cutting. I could see a world in which a couple of the tributes die of thirst or hunger while their mentors can't do anything. Didn't happen. Didn't really happen.
It kind of happened.
She absolutely could have saved Reaper's life. Reaper died of, thirst.
Yeah, but she started sending him water and he didn't drink it. He went on a bit of a hunger strike at the end there.
Well, yeah. He wanted to go out.
And
on
then
his own
actually
terms.
he sips a puddle of water that Lucy Gray probably poisoned.
Okay, then I had a funny prediction that didn't pan out. Well, it's not funny, but I had a prediction that didn't pan out. He said prediction, the Capitol interferes and makes sure Reaper isn't the victor because of the flag stuff. Gaul won't let him win after doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
That's true.
I'm also worried because we haven't seen Sejanus since the arena incident. Oh, he's definitely a peacekeeper too, I think.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
We have seen Sejanus. He was on TV.
Yeah, for the scholarship
The Plinth
thing.
Prize, yeah.
And then what?
Just hanging out.
We haven't seen him since.
Having a good time.
He's shipped off somewhere.
Smoking a stogie.
No, he's totally in District 12 hanging out.
Sipping on some nectar.
No, they went, you love the district so much, go fucking be with him then.
Well,
Go be a
probably,
peacekeeper then.
You're usually right, so.
But of course, and what better punishment for a kid that's being so fucking vehemently pro-district than to be like, fine, then go enforce our rules in a district then.
Yeah, well, probably.
Go be the man in the districts where people are, by the way, going to want to fucking kill you.
Probably,
because your dad was a fucking war profiteer.
Probably, yeah, probably.
But of course, Coriolanus won't visit him because that's his thing.
Because he's the worst.
Oh shit, Lucy Gray, gave Gaul the idea for the repercussions.
Oh, the snakes.
What, is Gaul going to drop snakes on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, choreo.
He
got a choreo from me for this one. That was freaking genius with the...
That was pretty good.
What was it? The handkerchief?
Hanky, yeah, he drops the hanky in there.
Oh, that was genius.
That was pretty solid.
I mean, Chekhov's hanky, but still.
Chanky.
Chanky.
Not janky, chanky.
Chapkin.
The
napkin, the hanky, and the compact.
Yes.
And he's like, but can I have that back though?
I need it.
Actually,
it's full of poison.
That was my mom's. Anyway,
all right,
continuing on.
Chapter 18. Coriolanus had been in a state of denial about the taxes.
Did Lucy end up poisoning anybody?
Yes, she poisoned 2 people.
Who?
I don't remember who the first one is, but somebody like stumbles out of the arena looking super bad. And
Jessup.
Then, no, not Jessup. Somebody else does later.
Oh.
And they're holding a bottle of water, and then they like drop it and die.
Good for her.
And it was like one of the frail children. And yeah.
I take it back. I take it back. I take it back.
And,
I take it back. I take it back. I take
and
it
then
back.
when
I take it back. Oh my god! I take it back.
when
Holy shit.
when Reaper comes
I
in,
knew the minute I said that, I was like, why'd you fucking say that? Oh.
Reaper comes and picks up the body, he kind of looks at the bottle and is like, oh shit. And that's, I think, why he doesn't, part of the reason why he doesn't accept any water, because he thinks the capital is sending poison into the arena. And then later at the very end of the games,
Dies of dehydration.
no, he drinks out of a puddle. And he gets a funny look on his face, and then he dies. And it's
Oh, yeah,
possible that
she
he was
poisoned him.
dehydrated, and it's
No,
also...
she poisoned him.
I would let me get something right.
Sorry.
My
sorry.
God.
Oh my God, sorry.
It's equally possible. Like, it's equal. Oh, he poisoned him. Gus, you fucking idiot. Yeah, I didn't figure this one out. Yeah, you clown, baby.
I was eager to save face after the, oh, good for her for poisoning a frail child.
Anyway, yeah, he drinks some water out of a puddle and he gets a funny look and lies down and dies under the blanket. And either he was dehydrated or Lucy had put some poison in the puddle.
She poisoned.
She probably poisoned the puddle.
She poisoned.
Coriolanus had been in a state of denial about the taxes, but now the reality of his family's displacement hit him like a truck.
That anus is in a state.
They had 6 weeks to come up with the money, to scrape together the equivalent of Tigris's income for the whole year. The cousins, and they can't, they're like, we're not going to be able to fucking do it. And the grandmam is like, I got it. And then she just starts singing and everything. They're like, God fucking damn it.
You know, here's the thing.
When you got nothing better to do, warble out your shitty fucking anthem.
At the end of the day, who hasn't lost their marbles a little bit the past few years?
You know what? It's relatable.
I mean, I hate the grandmam because she's bigoted, but the other parts of it are relatable. Not the fascism, but everything else.
So, they're like, we're going to have to get a rental. Oh my God, disgrace. It's going to be awful. And then he goes back to the games.
Deception.
And
disgrace. He asked for trouble the moment it came.
Nobody wants to talk about the games except hilarious Heavensby, who goes, it's different for me. I checked my list last night. Every single one of the tributes left has had food, or at least water, since they've been in the arena. Except old no-show Wovey. Where is she, anyway? I mean, how would I know if she just curled up and died somewhere in those tunnels?
I just remembered what you told me about the casting of that character.
Maybe
and
she's...
it filled me with so much rage
Maybe
just
she's...
now. The fact that the casting of Wovey is a woman with Down syndrome makes that whole discussion even worse.
Oh my God, yeah.
Does that not make that so much worse?
Yes. I think...
they really were like, you know what, we're going to make it worse.
Is Wovey the one who drinks the poison water?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Either that or is one of the ones who gets bitten by snakes.
A bunch of them get bitten by snakes.
A bunch of them get bitten by snakes.
So...
But yeah, no, that's really fucked up either way. But like, considering the fact that...
Listen, long and the short of it is...
It makes me emotional even thinking about it.
Long and the short of it is, hilarious Havensby sucks.
Hilarious Havensby really sucks.
Maybe she's already dead and I'm just sitting here like a jackass playing with my communicuff.
Oh, this is why they probably start monitoring their heart rate.
Coriolanus wanted to tell him to shut up because other people had real problems.
Listen, here's the thing. If he was emotionally invested in Wovey as a person and was like, I am concerned about the fact that I haven't been able to give her food because I want her to stay alive, that would be one thing, right? Like, Lysistrata seemed emotionally invested in Jessup as a person. But Hilarious is talking about her like,
my ticket to win.
Like she's an animal at the zoo that won't move.
So,
which, by the way, also you shouldn't complain about because they're animals, not
Yeah,
performers.
they're chilling,
you
man.
absolute fuck faces.
so they do some interviews. Coriolanus, he performs for Lucy Gray, and he gets her some more gifts, although she has so many fucking gifts already that there's not much more he needs. And then, the games are like really slow and dull by the capital standards, I believe, because nothing's happening except Lamina's on her beam. And they send Lamina some food. And then Reaper comes out and he talks to Lamina for a minute. You remember this part? Because she's getting sunburned to shit and back.
Oh, yeah, and they do a trade.
And yeah, they do a trade. And he chops part of the flag off and throws it up to her. And everybody's like, oh my God. How could you?
Oh, fuck you and your flag.
And
I'm sorry, but flags are not more important than human lives.
No.
Fuck you and your flag.
And then
Like, people's priorities sometimes are absolute dog shit.
Clemencia goes, oh, it's a stupid move, isn't it? Who's going to sponsor him now?
Oh, my God.
Pup goes, not that it matters since you never feed him. I'll feed him when he does something that merits feeding. Anyway, I think you've got that covered today.
Just want to hit him.
And Lamina trades some food down to Reaper for the flag, and she kind of like drapes herself with the flag, and it's very exciting.
I hate these people so much. And you're just like, how you just every now and then get roped into a conversation with someone because you're like, people couldn't possibly say this kind of shit with a straight face. This is just not how people are. No, this is good. And then you meet one and you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. People talk like this sometimes. You just want to fucking hit them in the face. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. The Proto Career Alliance goes out to the stands and starts pretending to eat, and they're
the Proto Careers.
Yeah, they are. Coral, Mizzen, and Tanner, and they send them some food, and they start chomping away. And oh God, Lucky does all this fucking shit with this dumbass parrot. This parrot Jubilee, and he keeps trying to have Jubilee like talk to Dean Highbottom and say, hi handsome, and he's like, oh, say it, come on, hi handsome. I don't think it wants to, Lucky, said Dean Highbottom.
Do you ever?
Perhaps it doesn't find me handsome at all.
Do you ever get into conversations with like those people with children where they kind of treat their kid like a performing
It's
monkey,
the thing that happens sometimes.
where they're like, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Do the thing. And you're like, she doesn't have to do the thing. And they're like, do the thing, do it for her, show her how you do the thing. And I'm like, oh my God, just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. They're a child. They don't want to do it.
He goes, what? No. He's just shy in front of strangers. Would you like to hold him? The dean leaned back. No. So, Dean Highbottom, what do you make of it all? Oh, what? All the stuff. All the different stuff happening in the Hunger Games, all of it? Well, what I'm noticing is the new interactivity of the games. Interactivity, go on. Right from the beginning, even before, actually, when the bombing occurred in the arena. It not only took out participants, it changed the landscape. Changed the landscape? Yes. Now we have a barricade. The beam. Access to the tunnels. It's a brand new arena, and it's made the tributes behave in a brand new way. And we have drones! Exactly right. Now the audience is an active player
drones.
in the games. And you know what that means. What? It means we're all in the arena together, Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I don't quite get that.
I do.
Think it over.
Hi, handsome.
So I didn't mean to just do all that dialogue, but I like the dialogue.
No, it's good dialogue. Do the dialogue.
I like, yeah, listen, Highbottom invented the games and he kind of sucks, but I also feel like he's the only person who's like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Can we acknowledge that this
Him
is
and
bad?
Lysistrata seem to be the only ones who are
And Tigress.
thinking,
But
oh
like,
my God. Tigress. I love Tigress. I love Tigress. Please let Tigress not be a bad person. I want to love her so much. But then I'm like, oh no, was she a stylist? How did Snow pitch that to her?
I don't know.
It definitely radicalized her if she was. Eventually, I think.
So, any thoughts on that interview?
Fucking hate Lucky.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. Being a megalomaniac, I can forgive, but incompetence... Just kidding. But it really just grinds my gears. I'm just like, oh my God, you have one fucking job. What do you think about all this stuff? Shut the fuck up, you dumbass.
So we get this part where the proto-careers attack and kill Lamina, and then Tanner as well. They go down to the beam. Coral and Mizzen start climbing the poles to get up to the beam. And they're like, Pup, who is, of course, Lamina's mentor, goes, they'll never make it. They're trained to work on ships. They climb ropes as part of it, Persephone pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. My father's a commander, after all, said Pup.
Well,
rope climbing is different. The posts are more like trees. And everyone's like, shut up. God, everyone's kind of sick of him.
Pup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the strategy here, Al?
Okay, so here's the strategy. She's one person on a pole.
Yeah.
And if they both attack her at once, she'll have to focus on one of them and the other one can get her.
Yes.
It's 2-on-1. It's unfair, but the Hunger Games is unfair. I thought that her being such a visible target was a bad idea, by the way. I believe I said so.
You did.
Like, I get wanting to be in a high place, but maybe not one that's quite so visible.
No.
Yeah, so then what she tries to do is go take care of one before they both make it up, and then that way she only has one to address, which almost works, but unfortunately, the other person has a trident, which is more of a long-range weapon, and so it's very hard when you have just a knife to deal with someone who's got a ranged weapon like that.
Yes.
So ultimately, she does get the best of her and she dies.
Yeah. It's quite very sad. Everything that you just described happens.
Then, once a third person is not needed in this scenario... They betray whatever his name is. Tanner, and basically stab him in the back.
After performing some kind of dance over Lamina's body, and let me read a little bit of Lamina getting killed. Not because I'm excited about it, but because I think it's terrible. In a good way. Tanner chucks the trident up to Coral.
Yeah, which is what they needed him for.
Even the sound system in the arena picked up Coral's war cry as she gained the top. Because Mizzen has fallen off. Tanner ran down to her end and managed to hurl the trident within range. The easy way Coral snatched the weapon from the air. She has an axe, by the way. Lamina has an axe, which is a good weapon, but not as good as a trident.
Not
in
as
this case.
far-reaching.
The easy way Coral snatched the weapon from the air drew a few exclamations of admiration from the capital audience.
Ugh.
Lamina gave Mizzen a glance, but his helpless condition posed no immediate threat. So she turned and braced herself for Coral's attack.
Just think we could have just played a soccer game or something instead.
Lamina had better balance.
Paintball.
But Coral's weapon had more range. After Lamina managed to block the first few jabs with her axe, Coral wove the trident in a twisting move that distracted the eye before it plunged into her opponent's abdomen. Coral released the weapon and stepped back, using her knife as a backup, but none was needed. Lamina fell off the beam and died on impact. "No!" cried Pup, and the word echoed around Heavensby Hall. He stood stock still for a moment, then picked up his seat and left the mentor section, ignoring Lepidus's outstretched mic. He slammed his chair down next to Livia's and strode out of the hall. Coriolanus thought he was trying not to cry.
Ugh.
So Coral helps Mizzen up. They climb down. After performing some kind of dance over Lamina's body, Tanner bounded over to Coral and Mizzen. Mizzen grinned and raised his hands for a victory slap. Tanner had just made contact when Coral drove the second trident into his back. He fell forward into Mizzen, who, braced by the pole, shoved him away. Tanner turned in a circle, one hand swatting uselessly behind him as if to dislodge the trident, but the barbed tines were buried deep. He fell to his knees, his expression more wounded than shocked, and collapsed face down in the dirt. Mizzen finished him with a knife to the neck. He then went back and sat against his pole while Coral tore a strip of fabric from Lamina's flag cloth and began to bind his knee. At the studio, Lucky's face stretched into a comedic mask of shock. Did you just see what I saw?
The child died, dude.
Couple, actually.
Several children died, dude.
And then Domitia actually gives a little bit of a eulogy for Tanner. Not a big... She just calls him a very good-natured sort of person and says you got to be careful who you trust.
This is exactly why they stop doing this and make the victors do it. That, and it's like, oh, it also adds the... I wouldn't be surprised if Coriolanus is the one who suggested it. It's like, oh, you know how we just keep punishing the people who were victors?
You know, Tanner was a very...
Because my girlfriend was one?
You know...
Ex-girlfriend?
Tanner was a very good-natured sort of person, and District 4 took advantage of that. She looked sadly at Festus and Persephone.
The districts didn't take advantage of that.
Suggesting this reflected badly on them, and Lepidus gave a disapproving click of his tongue. It's one of the many things I've learned from being a mentor in the Hunger Games. I'll always cherish my experience here, and I wish all the remaining mentors the best of luck. And then they cut back to Lucky, and Lucky is trying to get his parrot off the chandelier and he goes, What? Aren't you going to talk to the other one?
Not even a good parrot, Dad.
What's his name? The commander's kid. He declined to comment, said Lepidus. Well, let's get back to the show.
Ugh. This is terrible. This is horrible. I'm having a great time. Shirts now available.
Well, actually, the next thing that happens is they go outside and they show that people have cheering sections and like merch.
I want to die.
And Coriolanus is like, hell yeah, man. Lucy Gray, I wish you could see how many people are out there rooting for you to be the survivor and kill more people.
What a fun time. I hope she poisons you. I really do. It's not going to be what happens because I never get anything I wish for.
Reaper comes out and kind of is like, what the fuck happened? He seemed unable to make sense of the scene before him, the stabbed bodies of Tanner and particularly Lamina. After walking around them for a time, he lifted...
Could you imagine how freaky it is to like walk in on that?
He lifted Lamina up, carried her over to where Bobbin and Marcus lay, and arranged the three in a row on the ground.
Oh, this is why they start taking the bodies out of the arena.
For a while, he paced around the beam. Then he dragged Tanner over beside Lamina. Over the next hour, he collected first Dill and then Sol, adding them to his makeshift morgue. Jessup remained the only one left out. Reaper was probably afraid of contracting rabies. Once he'd neatly lined up the others, he swatted at the flies that had gathered. After pausing a moment in thought, he went back and cut off a second piece of the flag, draping it over their bodies and causing another wave of outrage in the hall. Reaper shook out Lamina's...
How dare he cut up a useless piece of fabric?
Reaper shook out Lamina's flag remnant and tied it like a cape around his shoulders.
Yeah, like, flags really don't fucking matter. Like, I'm sorry. They really don't. They really don't.
I understand the rally to the flag element of a flag and the representational element of a flag.
Okay, but...
However, in this case, the flag is representative of,
your bullshit.
Of subjugation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, in this particular instance, like, you're upset about a flag being cut up, but not about children killing each other.
Yeah, in this case.
Just am like,
I understand. Yeah.
It's kind of like you're upset about jaywalking, but, murder's fine.
Well, it's when you start venerating the symbol more than the ideology of it, right? Because they're like, oh my God, you're the Capitol flag, you're doing all these things. So I'm like, yeah, but the Capitol flag stands for killing children. So kind of like, fuck that, It's a tricky, yeah.
Also, Persephone's dad killed the maid. Like, let's discuss.
And ate the fucker.
And then ate her. I swear to God, because I'm like, do we really buy that he just happened upon her body in an alleyway?
What is this? I
just do not buy that story.
Why is this the theory of the hour?
I just do not buy that story. I just do not think that happened. I think he absolutely killed her and then and had her in the alleyway to make it look like it was a random attack.
All right.
And he couldn't do it at home because his children are there. Come on.
It's very
Persephone's
possible.
dad totally murdered the maid.
It's very this is how your brain, whenever you start reading any book, is this, and I love it. It's perfect.
That is actually what it sounds like in here.
Yeah.
At all times. It's really unsettling. That's why I'm always so anxious.
Now I want to talk more about this Marcus using the flag to bury them, because
Just like Persephone's dad used the axe to murder the maid.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because this is also really symbolic, because military funerals will drape a flag over a casket as a sign of honor and respect. So it's interesting to me that what Marcus is doing with the flag is actually very much a symbol of honor.
Yeah, it's a symbol of respect.
Yeah.
They are victims of the capital's oppression, and they are basically martyrs. He's making them martyrs.
He's making them martyrs. And it's funny to me because the capital is getting outraged over the treatment of a flag, in that they seem to think he's desecrating it, but he's doing something with this flag that is very much, and if we're assuming that Panem is far future America, because it is, very much rooted in tradition.
Right.
You know? And like he's using this flag to honor his tributes, and I think that's
he's treating them like fallen soldiers or fallen
soldiers. Absolutely.
Fallen soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I don't know.
And
if
I assume that that's an international thing. I can
custom-
only speak of,
Yeah. I don't know if that's the custom other places, but in America, when a soldier or someone who has served our country passes away, the flag is draped on their casket.
Veterans who pass away in the United States, at least, have a flag of the United States draped over their coffin in recognition of their service to the nation. The flag is skillfully folded in the symbolic tricorner shape after the playing of taps. The next of kin are then given the folded flag as a souvenir.
Yeah.
So, souvenir feels like the wrong word, but if you think of it as the French remembrance, then yes, it makes sense.
Remembrance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only know that because I know somebody.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an active military member at that time.
Yeah. Well, the last time I was at a funeral of somebody who was in the armed forces was my grandfather's funeral, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is just a really beautiful thing she's put in the book, I think, because it's so, there's so many layers to the conversation, to what is going on here, both in how the capital citizens perceive what the intention of the flag and the purpose of the flag is, and then Marcus's use of the flag for something completely different. And I don't think he's saying like I'm honoring them with the flag of Panem, but if the premise of the Hunger Games, the war being over, is that, well, we're all supposed to be citizens of Panem, right? It is sort of like...
Well, that's the thing, is they don't even call... They call the capital, the people who are in the capital, citizens. I mean, they're very careful with their language. They call the people who live in the capital citizens, and then everybody else is district.
But they are also technically citizens.
Right. But I mean, I think that the naming of the people who live in the capital as citizens is very purposeful. It's very purposefully othering of the people who live in the districts. Yeah. You're not... welcome here. You are not part of us. You are not one of us. You are very much subjugated, not equal. You know, like technically they are fellow citizens, but they're definitely not labeled as such, and very carefully and on purpose, I think, to make them more othered.
The cape seemed to inspire him, and he began to spin slowly, looking back over his shoulder to watch it fly out behind him. He ran then, spreading his arms out as the flag streamed in the sunlight. Exhausted by the day's activities, he finally climbed into the stands and waited. "Oh, for heaven's sake, feed him, Clemmy," said Festus. "Mind your own business," said Clementia. "You're heartless," Festus told her. "I'm a good manager."
When the dog fighting guy is telling you that you're heartless, you're a fucking monster.
"It could be a long Hunger Games, and it's not like I've abandoned him."
Any animal fighting is frankly monstrous to me, but I will not let it go that Festus likes dog fighting.
Oh, no,
I will
yeah,
not let
so
that go.
it's so bad.
Like, that to me is like scummy people.
So
scummy people.
He heads on down.
Not to mention the, supporting of the, Hunger Games.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's
Both
secondary, honestly. But
he heads on down into the lab to talk to Dr. Gall. And she goes, Tell me, Mr. Snow, did you know Gaius Breen? Did I? I do? I mean, we're classmates. I know he lost his legs in the arena.
Here, I'm going to traumatize you, but casually.
Is he? He's dead.
Oh, my God.
Complications from the bombing. Oh, no.
Who told him?
Gall?
Oh, Gall told him?
The man had his goddamn legs
did
blown
Gall
off.
tell him? Did Gall tell him that he
His
died?
fucking legs were blown off.
Did Gall tell him
Sometimes
that he
people just die.
Did Gall tell him that he died?
Yes, Allie. Gall told him that he died.
Oh, did Gall tell him? I'm sorry. Did Gall tell him? Do we trust Gall with the lives of children? Do we trust Gall? Would Gall be the first person that we'd call up? 1-800-Babysitters Club. Hi, Gall. Oh my God, I really want you to come babysit my baby. And then when we come home and she tells us that the baby, I don't know, like disappeared into the ether, we would trust Gall with that information. We'd be like, oh yeah, you definitely didn't have anything to do with the baby disappearing into the ether.
His legs were blown off.
I'm just saying I don't think she tried that hard to save him because he's more valuable as a martyr.
So many died in the bombing. Why do we...
Because there's the initial outrage that happens after the bombing, and then we can renew the outrage with an additional child death once the outrage starts to die down. We can keep the outrage spiraling.
Maybe.
Yes.
All right. So...
And I also think we're very lucky that I'm a nice person.
So he's like, oh man, I forgot to go say hi in the hospital because I'm the worst. I'm only telling you now so that at least one of you will have something intelligent to say to Lepidus. I trust you can manage that. Yes, of course. That'll be strange announcing it during the games. Like a victory for the rebels. Exactly. But rest assured, there will be repercussions. In fact, it was your girl who gave me the idea. If she wins, we should compare notes.
He's going to drop a snake on him.
And I haven't forgotten, you owe me a paper. And he's like, what the fuck? Really? Really? Fuck? Really? God damn. Okay, I guess. Fuck. Shit. All right.
They're going to learn a new coding language today. Python. That's what they're going to...
Well, it's funny because his paper he determines is also about a coding language. Control contracts, something with a C.
Like in Control is what it is. Right?
You don't like my coding joke?
I didn't get that one.
Never mind.
The tech people are cracking up.
They liked it.
They're slapping.
You know what they would rate my joke?
Thighs. I was proud of myself.
They would
for the
rate it a
Python
C
poll.
plus. If they
I
really
got that one.
liked
I got that one. I
they
got that
might
one.
rank it a C plus plus.
I got that one. I got that one.
We could all sit down over a nice cup of
Java. Yes, I
Yeah.
got that one. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I hit you
It's
kind of
all
hard.
right. No,
That was
it
a little bit of a
it was
hard
all right.
smack.
I
It was meant as a
appreciate
love tap.
Yeah, thank you. That's what Gall did to Gaius Breen's stumps, according to you. Just smacked the shit out of his stumps until he died.
That is not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying.
I'm saying maybe like a, quick little needle into the IV bag.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
You don't put a needle in the IV bag.
In the little, in the
Yeah, the little hose thing. Yeah.
yeah.
You don't put
You know what I'm talking about.
picture in a movie where there's someone with IV and someone just comes up with a needle and just stabs the fucking bag. And they're
Well,
like,
that's not what I meant.
shit.
You know what I mean? You know that they have the little thing where you can put the needle in the thing and then it closes?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
what
that's
you
what
mean.
I'm talking about.
But the way you word it, the needle in the
Is
IV
stabbing
bag.
in the bag.
Stab
That's what I think she did. She stabbed it in the bag.
Stab the bag. Is that like there's slap the bag. Is this what med students do? Is they just
stab the bag.
They inject shots into Franzia bags?
Into the saline solution.
Oh no, that'll kill you. Don't do that.
Well, no. They don't have it hooked up to anything. They just inject, and then it like squirts out, and they like
That
you know what I'm
sounds
talking about?
disgusting. That would also be quite bad for you. Salt water.
They're
We're
in
only
college.
speaking
They're
purely
fucking
practical.
idiots. I don't know what medical students do on their days off. Fuck in the supply closet, if Grey's Anatomy is to be believed. Another Shonda Rhimes project.
Hey.
Bridgerton trauma flashback.
So they coming out of the fucking. They're trying to get the cart into the car, and it's the snakes. And
Bridger trauma.
The Coriolanus is like, "Why you got all these snakes in the elevator? Why are you bringing all these snakes?
Why you got all these
snakes?
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes
in my
this motherfucking
Hunger
elevator."
Games. And then the elevator goes up, and the guy's like, "Oh, my bad." And he goes, "No problem. Where are you taking the snakes?"
Where you going with the snakes,
He
buddy?
asked as innocently as possible.
we going with the snakes?
What you got all these snakes for?
See, this is because I'm so bad at being casual. This is how that would have come out for me. Where you going with the snakes?
Just to another lab. And then they look at each other. And he's like, "Oh shit, they're gonna drop the fucking snakes all over this shit."
He goes with where I'm going, which is they're gonna drop the snakes on these fucks. Okay, and then he realizes that the snakes are all the colors of Lucy's dress.
Yeah.
Lucy Gray. Sorry,
Lucy Gray
Lucy, put some respect.
lives rent
on Lucy
free
Gray. In everybody's
everybody's heads. It apparently snows for the rest of time.
Oh my god!
Because the second he sees PETA and Katniss, he's like, "God damn it, they're back!
They're back! I got Sejanus and I got Lucy Gray.
God damn it!
God damn it! But they're switched.
Yeah, kind of because
Katniss is more
Katniss
Sejanus
is more
coded,
Sejanus because
and
she's
Lucy Gray is
very
more
very
PETA.
angry all the time, and PETA is definitely
and is the type to throw a chair at a screen.
Yeah, PETA will throw
And-
something heavy across the room, which is hilarious in retrospect. That's how he shows off, is that he just chucks some heavy shit around.
He just, I know, can you imagine? He just gets in there and he just starts throwing shit around, which is so funny.
I saw this TikTok where somebody was like, "This scene in the first Hunger Games movie is my Roman Empire," and it's just a scene where PETA goes over to the rack of weights and he just chucks a weight at like a bunch of arrows, and then all the tributes are like, the careers are like, "Damn," and they start nodding because he just like hurls this weight at something.
I mean, it does look really heavy. Here's the thing, is that you and I know from being in
Oh
stuff
yeah, that thing was like
that thing
styrofoam.
weighed, that was definitely styrofoam and weighed all of no pounds, and that was just Josh Hutcherson pretending real hard that it was Hutcherson.
I think it's Hutcherson.
Regardless, pretending real
He's
hard
very good in Five Nights at Freddy's.
that was heavy.
Yeah, he did a great job. So Coriolanus gets very nervous about the snakes, and he's like, "Well,
For no reason, I think. Why would
excuse
anyone
me?
be nervous around snakes being used that he had just seen? Because I'm not like a person who's afraid of snakes. Like, that has never bothered me. You know, I've never understood it. I'm like, they're kind of like slithery puppies to me. I don't know. They don't bother me. They really don't.
I don't get like totally skeezed out by snakes, but I don't seek them out."
Well, I don't seek them out. It's not like I'm some weirdo. Well,
What's wrong with being a fan of snakes?
well, I think it would be weird if I was just like out there.
I'm just taking extreme positions to be an asshole. Snakes are
Yeah,
whatever.
you're
Snakes
making
are
me
cool.
continuously have to pivot here.
I'm sorry.
I'm getting
I'm
kind
being
of
a jerk.
I'm getting kind of taken aback.
Did that on purpose. I apologize.
Here's the thing. Oh, I did see this TikTok today that really broke my heart, where it was like this guy who does the bug exhibits at the zoos and stuff being like saddened because all these little girls who are into the bugs and stuff get like berated and made fun of by their families for being like weird. Because like, God forbid, girls like anything that's like deviations from the norm.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like a similar way, because my dad got the lizard wizard to come to like 3 of my birthday parties. There was
That's
somebody,
a thing.
Someone called the lizard wizard.
The
who would
lizard
come.
wizard.
Yeah, the lizard wizard. She would come. The more I talk about my childhood, the more I'm like, was this real? Like,
I'm not
some of the
sure.
shit but the lizard wizard would came to like 3 of my birthday parties with like all kinds of snakes and pythons. There's a picture of me with a python.
I have seen this.
You've seen this. I'm like yay big, and the python's bigger than I am, and it's like wrapped around my neck, which, you know, choices were made. But it was the 90s. But yeah, I guess they've just never really bothered me. They're just like kind of like,
Well, when the lizard wizard gets her
just
hands
don't
on
let
you
them
from
get
an
around your
early
neck
age,
and don't
I
let them
guess you're
bite
set.
you. But yeah.
Without knowing quite how, Coriolanus found the handkerchief in his hand, neatly balled up like a prop in one of Lucky's magic tricks. He moved to the snake tank, his back to the security camera, and leaned over, resting his hands on the cover as if fascinated by the snakes. From that vantage point, He watched the handkerchief fall through the trapdoor and disappear beneath the rainbow of bodies.
Taste the rainbow.
Oh, it's the end of chapter 18. I think we got to call it there because we're kind of out of time. We're going to do the other 2 chapters next time on Battlestar Galactica.
Sure. I thought it was
Survivor.
previously on.
It is previously on Battlestar Galactica. It is.
Fake fan.
I am always wrong. You
Fake
haven't
fan.
even finished the show.
Okay, because here's what keeps happening. We will binge it. We'll get close-ish to the end. And then something happens where like there's some dark world event that occurs. And then both of us are like, we can't stomach this right now. And then when I'm finally emotionally ready to pick it up again, you know, like COVID. But when I'm finally ready to emotionally pick it up again, you're like, well, I really think we should start over from the beginning. And this has happened 3 times.
No, it just happened once.
This has happened 3 times.
And you had said, okay, we'll go back 2 episodes. We have never once gone back to the beginning. You started watching Battlestar Galactica.
What are you talking
Never once.
I'm being gaslit in my own fucking home.
Never once.
I am being gaslit in my own fucking home. What are you talking about?
Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was harder than you meant it to be.
I didn't mean to hit you at all. Why are you in my way? No, I'm just- I'm sorry. But I'm being gaslit in my own home. This is unbelievable, sir. You have made me start the show over at least twice.
That has definitely not happened.
Are you serious?
Name a single Cylon. I'll bleep it out. Go ahead. And none of the ones whose names are numbers. Okay, I'll bleep that out. That is one of them.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, all right. So that is one. Okay, so you got a few.
Wait, hold on. I'm not even done. I'm not
Okay.
even done.
It's not going to be interesting to them. It's just going to be a lot of different beeps.
I just want to show how...
That's not even a character.
No, what's her name?
That is a character.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
This is going to be fucking nightmare
I
to people
don't
who are
even
trying
care.
to sleep right now.
isn't one also?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
anyway.
wait, hold on. And then... Wait, I've got even more. Oh, there's...
Well, I can't bleep all that. That's too many words.
And then there's 6.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Did I get them all?
Well, you forgot 8
Oh, yeah. 8's...
and 4.
I did not forget 4.
Yeah, you forgot 4. You got 2, but not 4. And you also forgot 3.
Wait, who's 3? Oh, yeah. Wait, who's 4?
See, this is why we got to rewatch the show.
No, I just don't remember their numbers.
No, we got to rewatch the
Oh
show.
my God, I know what they
it.
look like. I know what they
all
look
heard
like.
it.
I fucking hate you. Fucking hate you. I love you so
I
much.
love you too. Anyway.
I love you. I'd die for you. I'm going to kill you. But I would die for you as well.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. This is apparently about Battlestar Galactica takes with Ali and Gus. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes, and you can always leave us a rating and a review, which helps quite a great deal. Other than that, are we going to do, which game do you want to do?
I kind of want to do Mind Meld.
Is that 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right.
All right, 3,
3, 2, 1.
Wait, I didn't think of a word. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Get ready. Think of a new word. I've got mine.
3,
2, 1. Arena.
Ballad.
3, 2, 1. Hunger
Anthem.
Games. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Flag.
Grandmam. Oh.
You've got to be kidding me.
How are you
Grand
gonna-
Mammoth flag. Grand Mammoth flag. Okay. I got it.
You do?
Yeah. Common denominator.
3,
2, 1. Coriolanus Snow.
Where are you getting flag to Coriolanus Snow?
Well, his grandmother is Grandmam,
What
and
does that do with flag?
he watched the flag incident go down.
Okay, now we have Panem and Coriolanus Snow. I feel like there's an easy one here. 3, 2, 1.
Lucy
President.
Graybeard.
God damn it!
Wait, what did you say?
I said president.
Oh, that was better.
Coriolanus Snow.
That was better.
President.
That was better. So Lucy Gray Bandit president.
Lucy Gray. What?
Okay, I got it.
3, 2, 1, coin.
Yay!
Oh, thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.